Leesville, heavy rainfall and gusty winds. So if you are under this tornado warning in Lexington County, what I need for you to do is go to the lowest level of your home. The second floor, if you're up on the second floor, go to the bottom floor, lowest level of your home, and put as many walls between you and the storm outdoors. And don't go to the window at this point. Don't go to the door. Don't go outside trying to see what's happening outside. This is not the time to do that. We need to make sure that you're going to that safe location with your family, but also grabbing a blanket or a pillow off the couch, maybe the bed, and just go. Go to that interior portion of your home. Maybe it's a closet. Maybe it's even just a hallway, and you can close some of the doors to the other bedrooms, and you can hunker down. Go to that interior bathroom away from windows, too, and pile into the bathtub. Get the whole family in there, because that bathtub will act as a cage around you and your loved ones, and you can stay as safe as possible from this storm. Also, if there is somebody outside at this point, make sure they are inside in a sturdy structure right now. It's tornado warning again. This tornado, this cell is moving to the east at miles an hour. As you're going to that safe location, turn up your TV screen. We talked about that a bit earlier too for other tornado warnings. Turn up your TV screen. Get us on that mobile device, WISTV.com. We have our live stream, but we also have our First Alert app and our news app. I see what the control room has done. We've had a lot of heavy rainfall over downtown Columbia. Again, downtown Columbia, you are not under this tornado warning right now. However, we are getting some heavy rainfall that's pounding our station here at WIS downtown on Bull Street. And so it's likely, we're likely going through what you're going through right now with heavy rainfall, likely some gusty winds. But we don't have the tornado warning with it here in Richland County. So that tornado warning is for Lexington County until around 7:15, okay, 7:15, and these are the communities that we highlighted here, even for Columbia, although you're not under that, Columbia around 7:13, okay, so the system will likely bring some really heavy rain and gusty winds in this area as we continue rolling through that time of the day. What I want to show you, though, I know we had another severe thunderstorm warning, so let me see if I can adjust the radar for a second and see if we can see what's going on here. But this is kind of a bit more elongated at this point, and so we do know that we've had some tighter rotation maybe to the east and southeast of Batesburg, Leesville, but still with this system, this is something you can't play with. This is something that you don't need to, at this point, go outside and see what's happening outside. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier. This is a storm that was moving very quickly to the east at 50 miles an hour, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this line of storms, we just kind of see they're setting up in some ways almost training, or at least there's cells that are just kind of popping up. We knew that this would be an alert day. You've been calling for that now for several days, knowing that conditions would likely be favorable for something just like this. But for those of you who are in Lexington County right now, areas like Casey, West Columbia, you will soon be in the path of what could be a very significant cell. Yeah. A tornado warning is now indicated on radar, correct, in Lexington County. We don't have any visual confirmation of that, but that's not necessarily uncommon because, well, after all, we've mentioned this, that sometimes tornadoes can be rain-wrapped in an event like this.
It can be rain-wrapped, and you have no idea whether or not there's an actual tornado actually moving into your area. So that's why we always say when you hear tornado warning for your area or your community, for your county, you need to take it very seriously at this point and just go to that safe location. A warning, we said this earlier as well, a warning is worse than a watch. A watch means keep watching WIS. A warning means that there is something happening in the cloud level, or we have seen a tornado spotted on the ground, and so these are going to be, again, some of the communities that we've been tracking here for this tornado warning, and so we're going to maybe show you a few more spots here that we're keeping a very close eye on. And we zoom into areas here. These are going to be maybe even some streets that we can pinpoint, like White Rock Lane and over towards Pisgah Church Road and Lexington High School, that we're seeing some of the worst of the rain right now. And maybe we can zoom in just a bit more and see a few more towns here like Wire Road, and this is going to be on this extension of Two Notch Road closer to Gilbert, but Main Street and Peach Festival Road, you're getting some of the heaviest of the rain. This is also crossing over I-20, and you can see as it continues moving to the town of Lexington. We talked about this earlier. These are some very populated areas in the town of Lexington. We have a new tornado warning that I need to talk about, and I'm sure we'll start hearing some of the bells and whistles. We have a new tornado warning that's now issued for Lee County. This is going to include areas in Bishopville. There's a new tornado warning for the northeastern parts of Lee County. I'm sorry, that's going to include Ashland. Okay, so this is going to be mainly to the north, and it's going to be north and east, but it's going to, there we go, that right there. So let me take this off. This is a new tornado warning. So we were just talking about the severe thunderstorm warning for Lee County. Now there's indications that we have a new tornado warning for areas there in Lee County. Okay, so this is going to be until 7:15. So we don't have a lot of time with this one, not a lot of lead time with this particular system here as it continues rolling mainly to the east at 50 miles an hour. So this is a very, very quick system that's moving through. Let me read off a few towns here that are going to be in the path of this storm. The only community that I'm seeing at this point is Ashland, but this is going to take it again to the east at around 50 miles an hour. I believe that's probably the one for Lee County. Let me step over here for just a second. Yeah, Lee County. So that's northeastern Lee County there. You'll also notice areas there near Darlington and Hartsville. Severe thunderstorm warning has been indicated and issued for that area. Let me put back on the radar for this one. And so this is going to be the area that we are watching with this as it continues moving in this direction here. This, at this point, is, again, going to be a fast mover as it heads away from Bishopville. Let me zoom into some areas here. This is going to be near Shannon Hill and also Highway 15. Alcott community as well for Lexington County. This is what we've been talking about as well. This warning continues until 7:15 this evening. We have been seeing this warning being chopped away a little bit, so we know that conditions have improved for Batesburg and areas east of there. Let me zoom in just to see whether or not we still have Gilbert in. Most of Gilbert is out, but we still have areas like Red Bank, also the town of Lexington, South Congaree, Casey as well, Carolina Eastman, that's going to get hammered with this system as it moves through. So that's why we want to make sure that you're at the lowest level of your home at this point and you have as many walls between you and the storm outdoors. So as I walk back over to the green screen, I just want to highlight just a couple things and see what's going on here. Again, we have I-20, we have Red Bank, the town of Lexington. Lake Murray is not in the tornado warning, so it looks like the worst of the storm will most likely bypass that area, but it's going to continue moving eastward. Again, 50 miles an hour, that's pretty fast, okay? So as it continues moving in that direction to the east at 50 miles an hour, that's going to take it towards Lexington, towards the Red Bank community, maybe even towards Casey as well. And we can't rule out downtown Columbia, but the rotation is not quite as strong as it was a bit earlier. So that's good news, but still, a tornado warning. We need to keep that in mind for Lexington County, a very populated area, one of the most populated areas here in the Midlands, as it continues rolling a little bit closer there to Lexington and also Red Bank. So we want to make sure that you're going to the lowest level of your home again, put as many walls between you and the storm outdoors. Greg, do you have something that you want to bring up or anything? Or
well, at this point, what we can tell you is that there have been at least a dozen tornadoes as a result of Alabama and Georgia today. We see these warnings just popping up in our area. In fact, our sister station in Alabama says there have been 10 reported fatalities. I'm looking at
Skycam. And we can take the tower cam full. Maybe we can see what's going on because that will be pointed towards Lexington County. And so I know it's pretty tough, but we got a lot of rain out there and some clouds too. And so we do know for a fact that it's causing maybe even some rain-wrapped tornadoes or even funnel clouds that are out there in the atmosphere, and so we need to be very mindful of that as it continues rolling through.
Yeah, that's right. And as we've been reporting, there are trees down following this cell that has been moving northeast for the past 15 minutes, and that tornado warning in effect right now, Richland County until 7:45 as it continues to make its way east. Folks in Lexington are reporting that conditions there have definitely calmed down, but for those here in Richland County, things are ramping up. And Dominus, if you could get a track where we could show specifically where this storm will be and when. We were looking out at tower cam and it just seemed as though, you know, you could see conditions deteriorating just a little bit outside the WIS studios. We're located on Bull Street here in downtown Columbia.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just adjusting a map for us right now. Before we do that, let me put on this rotation map. It looks like some of this rotation is headed towards areas near St. Andrews and closer to downtown Columbia. But let's put this back on and show you, let's see here. We're going to try to put this on here and maybe track it for us as well. And let's go from about right there. Let's try that one more time. I'm going to do it one more time for us. Doing everything kind of live on TV, folks, so just bear with us for a second.
Diminis, we're hearing of a possible tornado at Riverbanks Zoo, which is right near 126, as you said, and that's what we're hearing right now. A possible tornado spotted near Riverbanks Zoo right here in downtown Columbia.
So not good news, and of course that would also line up with some of the rotation that we're seeing on our product from First Alert Radar near that St. Andrews area, most likely that we're seeing some of that rotation from the radar site and from the cell as it moves to the east at around 45 miles an hour. So that's going to take it towards Columbia. Downtown, we're already getting the brunt of the storm at this point. Arcadia Lakes, Fort Jackson, also Leesburg area at 810. So as we're looking at this and what's happening for this system, I need for everybody to be aware of what's going on as it continues, again, moving to the east. Lexington, parts of Richland County. I believe, and I'm going to have to go back to the computer and just look for a second, but we're trying to make sure that we're letting you know what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And if we can go to the screen here just a second. No, just keep it right there. Go back to can you guys go back to the tower cam? This is what we're seeing. I know a lot of you have been seeing this at home too. We're getting this right now in Columbia and rain right now, but again, we've had gusty winds and we've had reports of tornado damage and reports of funnel sightings in parts of Richland County and even Lexington County. And so we need to take this very seriously. Of course, you talk about Lexington and Richland counties, very populated. So this is one of the reasons why we are on television right now to keep everybody updated and keep you as safe as possible as this system continues rolling through. He wants to kind of stay on the screen for me, but that's all right. We'll go with it. All right, so Dentsville and even areas here in Northeast Columbia, we're seeing areas near Hardscrabble Road and Killian Road getting some heavy rainfall. You are not under the tornado warning right now, but we still have some heavy rainfall that's moving through. I do want to remind everybody, though, that we are still under a tornado watch, or at least parts of the area under a tornado watch until, let's see here, that's going to be until 11 o'clock tonight. So you see those areas there. That's going to take it from Columbia for Richland County.
We have people who are watching conditions right outside their homes and talking about what they've seen. A possible tornado reported on Cox Ferry Road in Lexington. Also, we're hearing of possible damage to a Shell gas station located at I-20 and Industrial Drive. And then earlier we reported a possible tornado near Earlwood Park in North Columbia. And again, that cell created a possible tornado near Riverbanks Zoo. We're hearing a lot of these reports. Again, none of these are totally confirmed quite yet. Diminis, you always point out that it takes some time to figure out whether or not a tornado hit in that area. Storm spotters, the National Weather Service needs to go out, take a look at what exactly happened to determine whether or not it was a tornado. But everything that radar has indicated throughout all of this is that there's a tornado warning. There's a tornado spotted on radar. Some of these areas now, you had people who saw these, even trained storm spotters, who say that they believe that a tornado was reported in that area and caused some damage. We appreciate all those damage reports that you're sending to us on WIS TV as well as WISTV.com and on our Facebook page. Any sort of reports that we get, we certainly appreciate those. We'd like to see damage pictures just so that we can see what conditions are like in your area. But Diminis, give us an idea of the intensity of the storm right now. Has it diminished at all, or is it still pretty substantial here?
So it has diminished a bit more, and the National Weather Service office just canceled the tornado warning for Richland County, so that's good news.
Okay.